Welcome back everybody, my name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Torment Tides in Numenera. Where we left off last time, we were going to leave the city. I was just looking around to see if we missed anything before we left, and we actually did miss a conversation with Atasi, and she says, "Hello again, beloved vessel. How may I assist you? I think someone may have looted that ruined house against the cliff. Did you see who did it?" "Yes," the cultist says, a mischievous expression crosses her face, "but I wonder if I can convince you to share something with us in exchange for your help." She ignores the startled looks of her fellow cultists. "Will you tell us about your birth?" "Very well. I awoke miles above the world following to my death." "You can't be serious," she says, blanching. "It's true. Without getting into the particulars, I survived the fall and came to understand myself." "Amazing," she says, shaking her head. "None of you were lucky enough to wake up in bed, were you?" She clears her throat. "Well, deal's a deal." "We did see somebody looking through the rubble before you arrived," she says, glancing towards the pile. "Dirty children, orphans perhaps, were digging through the ruins. I believe they took some food and valuables, but we were trying not to stare." "Why are you less deferential than the other cultists again?" "Well, we all interpret the lessons of your father in different ways. I honor him for his wisdom, but I do not worship him." "Who lived in that ruined house against the cliff?" The cultist glances at the others and shakes their heads. They shake their heads. "A man," she says, "but we don't know his name or where he is now. He always took great care to avoid us." Okay, good. So let's go talk to the children. Apparently that they have some loot for us, and I have a vague sense of what it might be. Because there's only one quest we haven't done in this area. Let me ask you something, Avina. Someone saw children playing in the ruins of a collapsed house. Was that you? She nods, unashamed. "That was Zeb and me. He got some food out that would have gone bad anyway. I think I found something even better." Her lower lip sticks out, "But it's mine." "Show me what you found, I'm curious." Hesitantly, she takes it out of her pocket and shows it to you, though it looks like she might snatch it back at any second. It looks like a small metallic cube, but there is something off about the geometry, as if you weren't quite seeing it in perspective. It's a trick box, I don't know why, but it just felt right when I picked it up. She twists it gently in this way and that, but the box remains sealed. You can faintly hear something rattling about inside. I haven't figured out how to open it yet, but I will. "That's not yours. I have to return it to its rightful owner." Actually, no wait. I met a girl who is very sad to have lost that. Can I bring it back to her? She hesitates for a long moment, then holds it out to you. "I guess so." "You're very kind. The girl is going to be happy." She manages a quick smile as you take the box. "Tell her I'm glad." Pulling her eyes away from the box, she looks up to you. Was that all you wanted?" "Yes, actually, that is exactly all I wanted."
I'll handle it.
Let's quick save and see what the box does. I mean, it's a box. I'm sure it does something. At first glance, this metallic cube seems simple enough. Then you see light reflecting off a myriad of tiny silver panels within. Behind them is an intricate network of coils and springs. Something rattles within. Let's squeeze it. You press the box between your palms, and it collapses with a satisfying hissing series of clicks. When you let it go, it immediately springs back into a seemingly rigid shape. Let's smell it. Beneath the expected greasy stench of metal, you detect salt? The mingled aroma of heated metal and stone. A fearsome sense of nostalgia grips you for a moment, tied to absolutely nothing that you can recall. Let's examine it. You raise the cube to eye level and shake it again. Nothing moves within, but once again you hear the rattle of an object trapped inside. Something rough grazes the edge of your thumb. Turning the cube sideways, you see a finely etched diagram, a labyrinthine network of circuits. It means nothing to you. Perhaps one of the experts' machinery lore in the city might be able to make sense of it. Let's look again. Nothing. Alright. Let's take it to a machinery person. Who's good at machining? Probably Callus. Actually, you know what? The robot. The robot would be good. The foreman. That guy is like the boss of machines. He's a machine that knows about machines. He's got machineception going on, so he should be able to help us out, I would imagine. If not, then he is the worst foreman ever, and we should never go back to him again. Excuse me, sorry. Tried to cover up that cough, but it popped right out. I've had a dry, lingering cough for like 3 weeks now. I'm gonna maybe go to a health person about that, see what's going on. Let's talk business. Can you tell me anything about the diagram on this puzzle box? What? Barks the construct, shifting its baleful eyes to the cube in your palm. Ha! You've mistaken me for an expert on fripperies. Speak to the master artisan, not me. Okay. Artisan. Not you. You. At first glance, this ancient, unmoving construct seems nearly identical to the others in the manufactory. It's only when you move close into the hazy aroma of forged light you see the intricate, no, chaotic whorls of engravings marking every millimeter of its armored frame, and the worker standing behind it is adding even more. Hello, the construct says. This is difficult to say, but thank you for helping, Underforeman. I would have done the same if I could. It clears his throat. What can I do for you? Tell me about this puzzle box, please. Press it against my abdomen, it says cheerfully. I would scan it, but my plating's the best bet for sensing delicate work. You do so. Box clinks against the construct's metal skin. Machine-based language, it says delighted. Haven't run into that in a while, it says. To my daughter, let the sealed gift occupy your time until I return, and I will return. That is a promise. One other thing, the construct says. 2 interlocking sigils, each one meaning hand, appear next to promise. It doesn't seem like it's part of the message, though. The artisan makes a satisfied sound. Strange business. Machines don't have daughters, so I imagine we're looking for somebody who knew our language. Mysterious. Don't you want to know where it came from? In this city, artisan says, you can't kick over a stone without felling a relic from an age and aeon long ago. You're talking to one, remember? I mean, that's a valid point. Okay. Maybe we can press the thing now. Press down on the sigils representing joined hands. The button resists at first. It clearly hasn't been pushed in years, if it ever has been at all, but when it gives way, with a somewhat worrying snap, a chorus of metal clicks begins inside, like the beating of many distant wings. They fall silent, and one of the sides slides away, not into a socket, but into non-existence. On the interface is a dark hole, surrounded by more words, in truth this time. 4 numbered buttons surround the circle like the points of a compass. Let's look through the hole. The vast scene is depicted through the small hole in the tiny cube, rendered by multicolored metallic panels. A young woman, surely no more than 15, stands at a parapet overlooking a sunset sea. She has turned to regard you with a single raised eyebrow. Bronze light shines on the quartet of golden rings encircling her delicate ear. Your hand is on her shoulder, and she has laid her hand over yours. She is afraid, but the sight of you makes her smile. Perhaps it is a trick of the light or on an imperfect medium, but the hand on her shoulder, your hand, seems to be gripping her shoulder rather than holding it, as if the person behind the lens is afraid as well. Let's read the inscription again. I enclose a memory of happier days along with your gift. See it as I do. Cradle it in your hands and hear me when I say that I am proud of you. I hope you're not still angry with me. Press the first button. Something clicks. Second button. Another click. Third button. Clunk. Nope. First button. Second button. First button. Nope. First, second, fourth. Yeah, I didn't expect that to work, but okay. The top of the cube folds away, revealing the gift within. A ring, loose from its cradle. Perhaps it got loose on its own. Or perhaps the daughter solved the puzzle long ago and rejected the gift. You lift the ring from the cradle and tuck it away and snap the cube closed. We got a smart band. So we need to go trance and go give this box to somebody. We can go this way. Where's that ladder? There's that ladder. This will take us up to the government district, and then we can go to the caravanserai, go hand in this quest, hopefully, and then we can leave this section, act, whatever you want to call it, of the game. We'll move on to bigger and potentially better things.
I'm ready.
I'm hoping better, because if the game gets better as it goes, then I will be a happy Eltimar. If it gets worse as it goes, I will be an unhappy Eltimar. Although it's pretty fun. I like it so far. It's very, very lore heavy though. You have to really enjoy lore to really enjoy this game, because this is not a hack and slash type game. Tranquility, put me into trance mode. Go. Hello, yes, I require a trance, please. 1 trance, por favor. Thank you, mademoiselle. Alright. Empty reflection. I have a box for you. Possibly. I'm going to place the puzzle box in the outline's palm. You gently place the cube into the shadowy figure's hands. They close over it, and a young woman, the one you found dead in the ruins of the house, plunges towards you out of the darkness, filling in the outline until it is her. She nearly stumbles into you before she stops herself, blinking hard. Ouch, she says. You notice that the puzzle box you gave her is now as ghostly as she is. We lost the item. Well done, the Spectre says, turning away from the stunned woman. I'll give you two some room to talk. You turn to the young woman again. She glances at the darkness around you, and something about the expression reminds you of somebody. Of course, the ghostly woman in the fifth eye. Who are you? Syria, she says. You remember me. You found me beneath the chunks of my adopted father's house with my guts smashed to paste. What does the puzzle box mean to you? My father gave it to me, she says, beaming down at the ghostly version of the box in her hands. He said it was a very old puzzle, and that solving it would help me. She chuckles. I never did, but fumbling with it has made me feel better. I always had the feeling that the pictures on it might mean something, but that was as far as I got. And who were you again? Who was your adopted father? Orciello. He was one of you, she says carelessly. A cast-off, I mean. A frown creases her forehead. Poor old man. He never wanted to be special. He found me, fed me, talked to me, when I was, troubled. She sighs. But when the house fell on me, I guess he couldn't stand it, and he went looking for a way to die.
Updated my journal.
She falls silent. But you don't need to be told what happened next. You've seen the statue, after all. It was grief that drove Orciello to seek death in the sorrow's arms. She watches you, eyes shining with some inner light. You were important to him. Do you know why?
Making a note.
He thought he could help me, she said simply. He tried to call me when that woman's voice in my head said that I was her and not me. She smiles sadly. I wasn't the first. He'd helped other girls like me before. But I think he knew it couldn't last, she says, her smile fading. He was afraid. Not for himself. He believed, no, knew I was going to die. One time, he said he'd seen me die too many times, then shut himself up. She clasps a hand to her mouth and lowers it, like that. She shrugs, but he wasn't wrong, was he? Even if he was a little crazy to begin with. No, he wasn't wrong, but you're here now. She nods moodily. Sort of, she says. I'm not really me, though. I'm a reflection of what my father saw of me, the only piece of his mind that's left. When he died, his part of the labyrinth, well, I want to say it broke, but it was worse than that. The cracks burst up through the ground and everything started crumbling. I could feel parts of him slipping away, snapping off. She shudders. I'm glad you brought me here. I would have fallen apart eventually, and then there'd be nothing left of him. Nothing left of either of us. A creature named the Sorrow killed Orciello. Do you have any idea how it found him? No, she says, staring at the air, thinking. He didn't abuse his power like some of you do. Didn't pull against the tides or use them as weapons. He never wanted to be noticed, to be found. She breathes in, breathes out. Didn't matter, did it? Do you know anything else about him? I shouldn't I? She says, chuckling. I was part of his mind, after all. She passes a hand over her forehead absently, leaving her ghostly eyebrows completely disheveled. But no. If I focus, I can see the other woman he took care of. The ones that looked like me, I mean. But it's like looking through dirty glass. I think that means he didn't want to think about them, or couldn't. She shrugs, looking away. I don't know why he spent all that time caring for us. I guess I'll never know for sure, but... Alright, one time, I asked him what his tattoo meant. Atonement, he said. But not, dramatically. He said it like he was saying his name, like... She pauses, rubbing her forehead again. Like it was everything he was. Like, if he couldn't atone for, whatever it was, there was no reason to exist anymore. She sighs. But I don't know why he started, and I'll never get a chance to ask him. Grinning again, she rolls her eyes, and that's it. That's all I know about the man who raised me for years. Kids, huh? Alright, bye. I'll be here, in your head. And she is. You abruptly feel her presence in your mind as if she's always been there, a new weight behind your temple. Something has happened on an instinctual level. You've established a bond with this reflection. Some of her gifts are yours, and you feel stronger for it. However, this link fully occupies a corner of your mind. You may be able to forge connections with more than one reflection in the labyrinth, but not many. What did we get? What is this thing that we have obtained? Sierra's Peace. 1 might, 1 speed, 1 intellect. That's actually kind of awesome. Alright, we're going to leave this area. We're going to go talk to the sculptor, I think. The only reason I know we need to do this quest now as opposed to later in the game is when I tried to leave the area. I actually had a beginning of a video done earlier where I left the area and then I failed this quest and I was like, oh, we should probably look around and figure out what to do about this particular quest. Otherwise we can't leave. So then I started searching the city, found out about those kids, and then I was like, well, I should probably record this so people know what the hell I'm doing, and started back at the autosave for that zone. And that led us to here. So I know that we can't leave until we finish this quest. Completely. And then we can go because this infestation, not super important yet apparently. It did not fail me when I left the area, I don't think. We'll save right before we leave just in case. Let's go turn this into the sculptor and then we can possibly leave. It'll be nice. Maybe I should develop two groups of characters. One, my roleplay talky group of characters that I like, and one, my beefy fighter characters that I use to kill things. Also, since I have tomorrow off, which is really nice, aside from doing some preparations for a date night that's coming up, I am going to be doing lots of videos for you guys. You've learned something of my subject. Why did he go willingly into his murderer's arms? Tell me, leave nothing out. His daughter was killed when their home collapsed. Grief drove him to seek his own death. Grief! Ziofi shouts, lunging at his nearest sculpture. He was ruled by sorrow and the creature killed him. Did he call to her? Was it anger? No. Resignation? Madness? Carving, scraping, shouting, and muttering. Ziofi has clearly forgotten you were here, except for one detail. His hand gropes clumsily in his pocket, retrieves the pouch, and thrusts it at you. Good luck and farewell. I don't need a thank you from you. I just want to know what this thing is you gave me. It is a cloak, +2 resistance. When damaged by energy, chemical, mental, or transdimensional damage, confer Spirit Shroud +15% evasion. 1 round. Do I look fancy with it on? Let's take a look. It's like a spectral cloak. That's kind of cool. I like that. Alright, now are we officially done that quest? Okay, we can now leave this zone. We're going to go to the Valley of Dead Heroes. That's where we're off to now. The next act of the game, basically, I think. As far as I understand how this game works. How's our levels doing? I'm sure we're going to zone transition soon, so I wanted to get that done before we went to the government district. I think I've done all the side quests in this area, as to the best of my knowledge.
Yes.
If I've missed some, I'm really sorry. Let me know. And we'll try and address them another time.
All right, Ray.
One thing we should
do
actually
this.
do is talk to our companions and see what they have to say about this whole situation.
Wait. I think we're being followed. I'm never wrong about these things.
He clutches at your shoulders, peering around you, and spots Matkina for what is apparently the first time. His jaw drops. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Oops. Eridus takes a deep breath and tries again. He explains with the expression of a drowning man. His golden aura pulses, possibly in time with his heartbeat. She stares at him, unblinking, and turns to you. Why is he looking at me like that? You two are going to make such a great couple. Her eyes go wide in horror, and then she glares at Eridus. Don't, she says to Eridus. Really don't. In so much as I have a type, you aren't it. Eridus takes a shuddering gasp, blinks with what appears to be every muscle in his body, and rips his gaze from Matkina. What were we talking about? How are things between us? Great, he declares, throwing his hands in the air. I knew we had the same instincts for adventure. Got some questions. I'm not surprised. What is that glow surrounding you? Glow? He repeats, puzzled. Seriously, what is that glow surrounding you? I don't see anything. Where do you come from? I come from out of the west, Eridus declares, his glow intensifying, traveling day and night to escape the hired killers hounding my every step. That's not what I meant. Where did you come from originally? From the storms of the south. At first, I think I was only an outline in the clouds of dust, but then, Eridus leans forward, palms spread, eyes wide, I emerge, swords in every hand, keep swirling. You should have been there. I don't think you're understanding me. Where were you born? That's a strange question, he says, his glow dimming. Babies aren't interesting. Then he brightens, literally, of course. You're asking when I realized I was a hero. No, I'm trying to figure out your literal place of birth, Eridus, where you grew up. Who knows, he says, waving a careless hand. Who cares? Heroes come from villages, so that's probably where I'm from. A village. Goodbye, Eridus. We're leaving.
Let's go.
I'm not going to talk to my companions. After Eridus, I actually feel pained with the thought of talking to my companions. Plus, we already know Matkina's story. She's a killer, and she's done some bad things, and she was betrayed and stuff. Rin is an orphan. She's like 10 years old, so she doesn't have much of a story going yet. Maybe she does. Let's go talk to her really quickly.
What's going on?
I saw you in the junkyard through an omniscope in the caravanserai. Like in the past? She shivers and wraps her arms around herself. Wait, what did you see? You had a campfire, the only one I could see. Heh, yeah, someone else had told me that too. She gazes into the distance for a while. Suddenly she shakes her head. I'm sorry, what did you want? How are you holding up? Before I met you, I asked Owl if he could bring somebody to help me. I know, it's embarrassing. He's not the right sort of god for that, but then you came, and you're even better than anything a god would bring me. She watches you patiently. What's your story? Her brow furrows, and she clutches her elbow with one hand. You know some of it, maybe as much as I do. What do you want to know? Those thugs that you were hiding from, they seem to know you were in the building, but they couldn't find you. Why? She grins, and her sudden smile is like the sun coming out from behind a cloud. We're good at hiding. Did you say we are good at hiding? A flash of panic crosses her face. Me, she says too quickly. Then she sighs and pulls something from her pocket. It's a small dark stone with a hole in it. She's outside your arm's reach, but she still holds it close to her chest, protectively. This is all. He keeps me safe. He knows everything of hiding. Where are you from? Her expression grows distant. It's a better place than this. It's safe and warm, and it's a long way from here. For a moment, it seems like she's lost in thought. Then she starts talking again. There are a lot of trees there, and it's full of growing things, and a little village with a tall wall to keep the bad things away, and I have parents there. She shakes her head a bit and turns to focus on you. That's where I belong. That's my home. I have parents there. I'm not an orphan. Sounds lovely. What's it called? She smiles and opens her mouth to answer. A panicked expression flashes across her face for a moment. Her eyes dart back and forth before she puts one hand to her injured head. It's Baranth. She looks up at you, her tiny face grave. Yes, it's called Baranth, my village, my home. That's where my parents are. If you're from so far away, why do you speak the same language as everyone here? She tips her head to the side thoughtfully. I don't know. I guess I could also wonder why you speak my language. You know what? That is... Oh, wait. Hang on. I wasn't done talking to her. There's one more thing.
What's
back
going
here,
on?
Talk to you again. I want to... Can I ask some questions about your friend? She brings the stone up to her ear and cocks her head a bit. She looks up at you and gives a slightly anxious nod. Alright, he's fine with the few exceptions. A few. How did you, meet your rock? She puts all back in her pocket. He's not a rock, he's a stone. There's a difference between a rock and a stone? She gives an exasperated sigh. If there wasn't a difference, why would we have two words for them? Are you trying to distract me so I won't talk about your imaginary friend? She looks offended, then seems to think better of it. A little bit, she admits, but all isn't imaginary, and he's not a stone. He's a god, he lives inside of the stone. So the stone is like his body, or is it like his house? She smiles. It's a little like both. It's easier for him to leave than a body, but harder to leave than a house. But either way, the stone isn't really him. It's like a little like a cup, too. She looks up at you hopefully. Does that make sense? I think I get it. It's like how the cup holds water. The water is shaped like the cup, but the water isn't the same as the cup. Her face lights up in excitement. That's it exactly! The water might even taste a little bit like the cup if the cup is made of tin, or it might even taste of little... like wherever it was in the cup before, but you can pour it somewhere else and still the same water. She hesitates, then adds, almost the same water. Mostly the same. Has all always been in a stone? She nods. He's a very young god. Older gods have usually lived in many bodies. How old is all? She grins proudly. Only a couple of weeks old. He's so strong for, She breaks off and looks down at her hand. You don't need to be embarrassed. She looks up at you and grins again. Then says in a stage whisper, he's embarrassed. What does it mean that he's a god? Rain grimaces. That's a hard question. Where I come from, there are many gods. Gods of health and hearth and home. Gods of road and Rome. Where I come from, it's a poor family that has no gods of their own. She looks down at the stone in her hand, speaking softly. But here there are no gods. It's like finding a place where people don't know what meat is, or air. How do you explain something like that? And I haven't seen a single god except for Al himself, and he is mine. He simply is. He is my friend. Did you bring Al from your home? She shakes her head, her eyes far away. No, She breaks off suddenly, hand tightening around her stone, then starts again. Well, yes, I suppose I did bring him with me. I found him near a stream. I've been carrying him around in my pocket for years. You said Al was a couple weeks old, but that you've had him for years. Which is it? She opens her mouth and closes it again, then says, Al doesn't want me to talk about this anymore. I just want to make sure you're alright, Rin. Her laugh has no humor in it. Of course I'm alright. Why wouldn't I be alright? I'm far from home, I have stitches where my hair should be, and everyone thinks I'm crazy. Even that man who's scared of his own, what do you call it, levy? Even he thought I was crazy. She puts a hand to her head wound and squeezes her eyes shut. I don't want to ask this, but I don't want to not ask either. She opens her eyes and looks at you, innocent and pleading. Do you think I'm wrong in the head? I think you've gone through a really hard time, Rin. Sometimes our minds play tricks on us. So, do you think something's wrong with me? No, that's not what I meant. I'm only trying to make sense of what happened to you. She wraps her arms around herself and shivers in the warm air. Me too. Man, that is grim. I feel really bad for Rin now. I kind of wanted to confront her and be like, damn it, you are talking to a stone. But that's not the way we're going to play this out. Let's fly to the Valley of Dead Heroes. Excellent timing, Master Renio says, bowing. My vessel will be departing shortly. Board at your leisure. He leans in closer. I should also warn you that we won't be able to retrieve you from the valley. We never tarry there. Its energies are not good for a ship's engines. Let's go then. He smiles broadly and the attention seems to drain from him. My favorite words. Alright, all here then? The wind is right for us. Let's sail, friends. He begins shouting commands to his crew and they cast off the mooring lines. The airship pushes away from the spire, and the city of your birth falls away below you. Oh, we're almost out of time on this video, but it feels like we're moving to somewhere brand new in the game, and I like that feeling. It's one of my favorite feelings when I'm playing a game is the feeling of progression, moving on to the next zone, getting the next bit of the story. Not that I don't like side quests because I find them very interesting a lot of the times, but main storyline quests are where it's at. Now we have arrived, apparently. And it looks like there's a small entourage of people approaching us. Maybe they're here to greet us. Hello, friends! I am here on your cool valley, even as he stalks towards you. For a moment, it appears as if the man is unaware of your presence. He stops in front of you, rocking ever so gently. He stares right through you, murmuring under his breath, chanting or insane rambling. You draw closer and notice the scars he bears upon his face. Then his gaze matches yours and suddenly he grows silent. He sees you now. His eyes flicker across your face and pause at your tattoo. He bows, his movements stiff and halting. Then with blinding speed his hand snakes out and brushes a speck of dust from your shirt. The hand is gone before you can react. I am Clin Carr, and these are my associates. You are in the Valley of Dead Heroes. His jagged smile is rimmed with blood. 2 memorialists have escaped us. You will find them. We need them. She mutters to you. These are followers of our brothers, Inafar. I don't know much about them, except that they believe in blood. Tread carefully. Why do you want to find them? He hisses out a long exhalation of breath. We must open the endless gate, find the missing memorialists. Are you children of the endless gate? Do you know Kiyotawa from Sage's Cliffs? He looks at you suspiciously. I am not familiar with her, though one of our brethren did come to us recently from Sage's Cliffs. Perhaps Motley will know. You can inquire of him in the necropolis as soon as you find our missing friends. Okay, fine. He is holding up his finger as if to threaten you for not complying, then realizes what you've said. Oh, then we would be glad of your assistance. The memorialists are somewhere nearby. We can smell them. Go find them and bring them to us. Well, there's some loot here, so let's go start with that. 20 shins! A fortune.
Yes.
There are like 8,000 things to interact with here. You see faint traces of footprints in the dust. A closer examination reveals that someone must have stopped in front of this alcove for a moment. Your investigation turns up no sign of any hidden compartments. Alright, next one then. You check the empty alcove thoroughly for hidden doors or panels, but your investigation reveals nothing.
Ready.
Next one. You peer into this alcove. It's deep enough to hide people, but is strangely empty. After a thorough investigation, you step away. There's more loot up there. The alcove is vacant. Its only inhabitant, the blowing dust of the valley. Though it appears to have been built to hold bodies, it is curiously empty. These mooring posts are here to keep ships from drifting off. At least they were back when ships used to stop here. That's a fair point. You pull the planks back. A crawl space extends behind them, with 2 small alcoves recessing in the walls. They are remnants of grave markers and memorials from ancient times. One seems shallow, the other's been blocked by rubble from falling above. Both of them appear to have been built to hold bodies, but neither are occupied. Yet, you see a disturbance in the dust of the crawl space. Someone came by this way, at least. Perhaps they're still there. Let's search more thoroughly. Who's good at percepting? Actually, we're good at percepting. We don't even need to use any effort to do it. We can just 100% it right off the bat. We are actually out of time, so we're going to stop here. In the next video, we're going to go through this. I'm going to let my puppy outside so that he doesn't bark for the next video, because that is rather annoying. I will be back shortly. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.